I'm back. It's cool. And this is the second volume of Talk My Shit. Today, it's 9/11. Rest in peace to anyone and everyone, even before 9/11. But we're not going to get into that. Today, we're going to talk about Lane Kiffin. So my background was I played for Tennessee. I was there when Lane Kiffin was there. There's a whole lot of hoopla about, Lane Kiffin is going to get fired and he's not a real head coach. When this has been the reality for about, since when? What, 2009? When, he came to Tennessee and pretty much wrecked the whole program. And I wrote on Facebook, I said, making a deal with the devil can be a humbling experience, don't you think, Lane Kiffin? But I still wish him the best. I'll never wish evil on anyone. But people don't understand this whole NCAA, this whole college thing. I'll go ahead and say it. It's modern day slavery. And I was very much so a part of it. I was actually brainwashed into believing that this way of life was freedom or a way to attain my freedom. When in actuality, it's just another way for free labor. Ask Johnny Manziel. It's just free labor. It's all it is. They're killing each other slowly. I myself, I know I've had at least 7 or 8 concussions that I know of. Not that I've told any doctor, because in the name of that game, it's about toughness. But we'll get past that. I don't think you parents especially understand that when a person is skilled enough and talented enough to, go to college and get a scholarship for this education in America and broaden his horizons and hopefully be able to be successful in life, you don't understand that you're giving your kids lives to these coaches. You see what I mean? And to the women or parents who come from poverty who don't know any better, they don't know what they're subjecting their kids to. Yeah, it is true some of us do make it, only to live till about 50, but we won't talk about that either. We'll bring the stats on that later. But there's a war going on in this country, people, and it's against my people. That's all it ever was, and that's all it's ever going to be. People still think like Hitler these days, and there's still a supreme race, as they call it. And that's why in God, all me and my people can do is trust in God. And not y'all's God, but because it's just astonishing to me that if you do research, the first boat they brought slaves on was named Jesus, but I won't get into that. That's a little too much for y'all. But as far as this whole Coach Kiffin thing goes, I respected him as a coach. I thought, as far as one-on-one personal, he was a good dude. But you have to understand how he ran this program. We were up from 5:30 in the morning all the way to 10 o'clock at night. People say, student athlete, but we all knew it was understood that the athlete came first in these circumstances. In a culture where it's so high pressure to, it's so high pressure to make this cash, make this money. It's all about this bread. That's why on your pennies and nickels and your dimes and all your dollars, it's in God we trust. That's who you guys trust. That almighty dollar, pretty much. But like I said, Coach Kiffin and the way he ran it, of course, it's going to be like there's no going to be any team unity. He'll pick favorites. Of course, yes, this is what he does. So your best bet is to play it as smart as you can with a coach like that who really didn't garner any real acknowledgments or, before he came to Tennessee. What was he? Coach for Oakland. How did he get that job? We don't know. Didn't have a lot of credentials coming out of USC. What was it? Offensive coordinator. Co-offensive coordinator, not even, But anyway, get that job in Oakland, fired after 3 years. Go to Tennessee, quit after a year. Now after 3 years here at USC, now they're trying to fire you. Like I said, it was his dream job, though. It really was. And I commend him. Like I said, I respect his decision. But when he left, no one cared about any of the players in that whole organization. And people can talk about this whole VFL thing. I don't care. I don't really ever acknowledge it because y'all don't know what VFL really is. I'll tell you what it is. VFL is a kid growing up in Tennessee. His whole life, all he wanted to do was play football for Tennessee. His whole life, he saw mostly Coach Former. Wow, that's my coach. That's my dream coach. I want to play for that guy. You know, people make a big spectacle about, you know, when they fired my old ball coach. But that's what I saw growing up. I saw that football brought joy to many. Joy to many. And I love playing that game. And all I ever wanted to do was play for Tennessee, where I'm from. Where no kids get respected because of that. You know what I mean? And I always say to myself, no one could have called that happening, or no one knew that happened. But my whole point is, no one cares that happened. Life goes on, right? You know what I mean? So what happened to, you know, maybe 30, 40 players that were there in the span of 2 years that all just disappeared? Some went to other schools. Some probably dropped out because, you know, the relationship that these coaches establish with players is something special. And it really is. Like, that's why when new coaches come in, they disregard all of the players that they haven't recruited and that they don't know personally. See, then it becomes a business. When I was at Tennessee, it was a family. It was VFL, Vol for Life. From when I first saw the TV screen, Jay Graham, when I'm a little kid, I saw the orange and white. That was VFL. I played for the orange and white. And the fact that the administration doesn't respect its players, just like in any other NCAA school setting, they don't respect their players. Of course, people do a lot of drugs, and they'll overlook them. Why wouldn't they? Your regular students do the same thing. So now their rights are stripped.
What's your definition of drugs?
What's your definition of drugs anyway? We won't get into that. Because it seems to me that they'll make something as organic as anything, as natural as anything, they'll demonize it, but they'll put all these chemicals and all of this. It's chemical warfare, just like you see over there in Syria. It's chemical warfare. You're putting all this stuff into your body. What is this? What do they call it? Adderall? You know what I mean? Hydrocodone. A lot of these pills.
One of the big ones. Toradol. This happened at USC where this kid is suing USC right now because he took some Toradol. Toradol is a painkiller they give us before every game.
Sometimes 2 or 3.
2 or 3 of them before every game. And this kid had a heart attack off the drug Toradol. I remember countless amounts of time taking Toradol because I came back early from an injury that they forced me back from. An ankle injury that I'm suffering from right now.
That's the culture.
I can still play ball, but my ankle will never be as strong as it was.
Exactly.
I would have to rehab my ankle the rest of my life in order to get it back as strong as it was. And people don't understand that aspect.
And that's just one story out of a gajillion. But, you know, from the outside looking in, it's all, you know, these players are getting all the glory. These players are getting all the praise. And it's like, y'all looking at it from the inside out, man. But hey, we'll get back to you guys with the next volume after that. That's just a startup right there. We'll get back to you guys.